we not beat up on Ayesha Curry every time she breathes? I mean, look, I get it. You saw the Millie Rock. It was more like a Milky Rock. And that's fine. But still, everything she does doesn't need us to pounce on her. Is she a little bit corny to some people? Sure, but that's fun. She's a married woman who's having fun with her husband, and we should mind our own business, let her live. Because if we don't, somebody's gonna do the same thing to us. Black Coffee starts now. What's up, y'all? Welcome to BET's Black Coffee. He's Jameer Pond.
Hey!
And she's Gia Peppers.
Hello.
And I'm Mark Lamont Hill.
There was a drastic difference.
There was no difference.
Wow.
It was the same.
It was like Jameer, Gia, Mark. Like,
Right.
No, it's your ears. You didn't hear it.
No.
I just need to make sure that I get the same level of enthusiasm when you make it over
It's game time.
Because I feel like you skipped me, but that's
No.
You
You get the grand finale.
I get the grand. Is there
Yeah,
music or
definitely
confetti
skipped
or something that goes
There's a
with
wind
it?
machine.
He skipped you.
We start with Jameer.
I'm gonna throw a pillow
What?
at you. Stop doing that
What?
in front of people.
Okay.
in front of audience.
Our
Yeah.
special guest today is a high-powered attorney.
Yes.
She is a vocal advocate for women, and she beat dozens of other successful contestants to become the reigning Miss USA 2019. Please give it up for the legendary, the extraordinary, the gorgeous Cheslie Kryst.
Hi, Cheslie.
I've never even seen that many
You
veins in
did
your
not
neck.
falter. You did not falter.
It's what we do.
Yeah, I love it.
Everybody gets the
Perfect.
same level of care.
I can't
and
stand
you
you.
said my name
You're
right
lying.
too. Usually I get Cheslie Kryst.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. Or if I'm in the South, Cheslie Kryst, because you have to have the.
Chelsea
I know.
Kryst.
She told me your name like the right way. I was like, oh, it's not Kryst. Like, I just immediately went
Exactly.
into pageant
Right.
girl.
well, I'm from North Carolina, so I have to make sure, got a
right.
little Southern
What
accent
part
in
of
there.
North Carolina?
Charlotte, Queen City.
Queen City,
Yes,
Kakalaki, we standing up, y'all. I'm not from there, but I have a
about to be
cousin out there.
okay.
Cousin from
Yeah.
Charlotte, okay.
No, he's from Brooklyn. He lives in Charlotte. No ties to Charlotte whatsoever.
So basically, you had
Terrible.
nothing to contribute to this
no,
conversation.
just wanted to say, hey, what's up, Sean?
All right. Well, if you out there have something substantive to contribute to the show, today's question of the day is something you might want to talk about with your significant other after you send in your questions and comments to us. Here's the question. Who takes the lead in your relationship? Now, ladies, do you believe the man should make most of the decisions? Fellas, are you okay with your woman planning all the dates? And of course, everyone is not in heterosexual relationships, so who takes the lead in your relationship in other types of relationships, queer or otherwise? Make sure you use your hashtag BlackCoffeeLive to tell us, and please don't lie, be honest. We'll read your responses throughout the show. I say that because so many people say, oh, my relationship is 50-50.
Yeah.
We share every
That's
decision.
ideal.
Is it?
Of course. Yeah. In my eyes, you would want a partnership
Let
that
me
is
tell you
equal.
something. Let me tell you something.
Ideal is not
Why
always
that
true.
voice and why'd you do like
Because
that?
I am going
getting
to
into it.
tell you a pet peeve of mine.
What's a pet
Here
peeve?
he go.
Just one. Every woman wants equality in a relationship until it's time to pick the restaurant.
I'm triggered because
You know what?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And here is the man speaking for what every woman wants in a
No,
relationship.
no,
I just back that
I'm
mind.
only speaking.
But go ahead.
Only my experience.
Don't let me stop you.
only my experience.
Hey, Mark, hold that L, all right? Hold it.
Go back to your cousin in Brooklyn, okay?
Hey, Sean, what up,
helping
baby?
So, because that's interesting, because I literally just had that situation, right, where I was like, I've picked the restaurant a few times, been on a few dates now, and I was like, hey, look, pick the restaurant, fam. Like, pick it. I just feel like it's not that hard. There are so many ways. There's Yelp. I do.
There are a lot of
Yelp
options, though. That's
works.
the one thing I learned about New York City.
Yes,
I mean,
but you can literally look in an
overwhelming
area
options.
and you just do current location or whatever, and it'll tell you dope restaurants. You swipe through, and you're like, oh, I like that one. Like, it's really not that big of a deal.
Well, what happened if he picked Chipotle? What's wrong with He took initiative. He picked something.
I love Chipotle
so
too.
boom.
But
Dates.
a date at Chipotle.
What's wrong with that?
I don't think
don't
it
know
always
about
needs to
that.
be 50-50 though. I think like somebody told me in a seminar once that when she was talking about like work-life balance, she said there's not balance, there's harmony. And I think the same goes for a relationship. It doesn't always have to be 50-50, but everybody needs to be happy.
Right.
So if that means you always pick the restaurant, that's fine as long as both of us are happy with you always doing
See,
it.
I don't like to always pick.
You gotta play your part.
I agree
Somebody
with
gotta be Tito.
No one should be Tito in a relationship.
Somebody has to be Tito.
No,
There's
somebody could be
35
Michael, and somebody could be Jermaine. Somebody could be Michael, somebody could be Marlon.
Tito-
Nobody wants to get
Tito
Tito'd in a
was
relationship.
Marlon.
If you get Tito'd in a relationship, something's wrong.
Wow.
And my issue with the restaurant isn't, just be clear, my issue with the restaurant isn't picking, it's that once I pick,
You will have.
You can't complain about it.
But it gets vetoed.
Oh, yeah.
Just whatever you want. Oh, okay, let's go here. I don't really like that. Okay, how about here? Nah, I'm not really in the mood for that. How about there? Nah, I'll pass. I don't have a taste for that.
I was very aware of that though, and I was like, whatever you pick, we're good.
Oh, then I'm good.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think after you get to a certain point, you just need to stop asking the person what they want to eat and just take them there. Because after you get there, like, you're going to eat what is in front of you.
Something
That's
you
a
gotta
solid
eat.
point.
And you're
gotta
hungry,
eat
like,
something.
Meet me
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
at 7:30. It's like this. See you later.
Yeah.
But it's not that easy, especially from a man's perspective.
Tell me
It's
why
like
it's not that
because we know, like if we tell you, hey, show up here, there's a good chance you're gonna be like, oh boy, you don't want to eat nothing here. So I kind of have to like
We're all
think
so
in
nervous.
advance. It shouldn't be like that. We all shouldn't be nervous. It should be just like, hey, what do you want to eat, or what are you in the mood for? And then I could pick the restaurant based on your taste.
Right.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how you navigate through them waters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate
That's how
that.
you
Those
swim
water.
through the water.
We got some comments coming in. Cherie Carter on Facebook said, I need a man who is willing to lead. Kim, I got beef with you. We're going to talk about this.
I
Kim
got
Nation
beef with you.
on Facebook said, the man takes the lead, no debating. Oh, you sound like an open-minded person.
Hey!
I'm just,
Stop attacking people.
Right.
It says no
You want people
debating.
to send their opinion.
and I'm going to mock it. I'm just saying, you can't send us something and say no debating. We're going to debate it.
No debate.
Fine.
I'm just kidding.
Men take the lead. I as someone who identifies as a feminist, my position is that no one should be taking the lead. And I think it's very easy.
So you think it's ideal that there should be a partnership?
Yeah.
50-50.
Absolutely.
Okay, because we just said that and you was like, no.
I didn't disagree. I said a lot of people, my point was a lot of people say they want it, but then in practice,
in
they
actuality,
don't
it doesn't
do it.
actually happen that way.
Yeah. I'm not saying I should be picking a restaurant.
Okay.
I'm saying I don't want to ever pick it.
Okay.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
I think it takes a while for people to let go of the expectations we have for men and women in relationships, and I think that may be the tension that you see sometimes, in that like people say, you know, I want my man to lead, or maybe I just want a partnership. It's hard, especially as a woman who leads at work every day or leads in organizations that you're in. It's hard to come home and always want to let that go and
Yes.
let some of that control go. I'm type A. It's very hard for me to let anything go.
Right.
So I think that may be the tension that you see in people nowadays, and figuring out like how do we make this a partnership.
So in your own relationships, you like to be the leader.
I think there are things that I like to lead in my relationships, and things
Like what?
that I will
Right,
just let
yeah.
go of.
Everybody too. What do y'all like to lead in specifically in
Let's let our
relationships?
guests
But yeah,
go.
yeah, yes.
Well, I just like to make. So I have a boyfriend, and today's his birthday.
Oh,
so
happy
Happy birthday,
birthday.
See, that's a shout out. Not to your cousin in Brooklyn.
Hey, he's in Charlotte.
Whatever.
Okay.
Well, for me, like when it comes to plans and making plans for weekend getaways, for example, I like to know what's going on. So I usually take a lead in figuring out what we're doing. So, for example, I was in DC. I wanted to know like which museums are we going to? We're going to go to the African American History Museum. We're going to go to the Holocaust Museum. After that, we're going to go and get lunch. And so that's where I get to take the lead.
Okay. Right.
And I get to have control over that because I'm the kind of person that if we walk in somewhere and we don't have a plan, I'm going to be mad.
Right.
I'm going to be a little upset because what time are we leaving? I need to know what
Gotcha.
shoes to wear.
Right.
So.
And so how long have you guys been together? If you don't mind me
Been
asking?
almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in December.
Right.
We've known each other since we were 14 years old.
Oh, that's adorable.
I know.
And so, because my whole thing is, where is the, so when I was growing up, my dad always taught like a man should, lead, take that initiative, pay, da 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 da. But eventually you get in a relationship, and the women usually pick up that space there.
Usually? Really?
The planning of weekend getaways and the dates
And the paying?
trips and the
And the
not
paying?
the paying.
Oh, that was made me pick up my mom.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
This was the
Not
paying mode.
You said the paying. I was like,
I was like, I ain't.
Not the
Really?
paying, not that men should pay all the time, especially in relationships,
Right.
but eventually there's a shift in like, now that you're impressed, go and, be the
Things become
girlfriend
more
role.
blended.
Right,
Yeah.
things become a little
But not
more
50-50.
blended. I would like to see it.
In a relationship, you pay half the time.
If I'm in a relationship, I would.
Your
I
voice
don't
got a
always
little
pay
high.
half the time, but I think it's just
don't
all about
know.
you and your like individual relationship.
I was about to say,
Right.
and it
'cause, like,
depends.
exactly. Like my boyfriend likes to pay for stuff. He likes to be able to show that he can be a provider. He's got a good job, and so he's like, I'll take care of it. And there are times where I'm like, no, baby. I mean, you took care of dinner this whole week. I'll do
Right.
it.
Exactly.
And so let me do it. So I think it just depends
sounds
on you
right.
and your relationship.
See, and
Yeah,
so-
we're right here.
Yeah, and see, this is where
Here he goes.
I have
about to
feelings.
burst of love.
So I agree with again the harmony idea. Everything doesn't have to be 50-50. It just has to match. I may make more than the person I'm dating, in which case I probably should pay more. But if she made a lot more, I still think I'd end up paying more.
So
I've dated women who made a lot more than me, and I still paid every time. Because I think there are ways that women be like, oh, I'll let you do the thing you're comfortable with when it's paying.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I guess as much as I'm saying, I think we naturally retreat into these gender roles especially when they're comfortable.
yeah.
That's what I'm
Especially when they're
saying.
comfortable.
You're supposed to be a
exactly. Yeah,
provider no matter what as a man. And to not be a provider in a sense is you're not you can pick a restaurant. That's
Right.
fine. But to not be a provider in some way, shape, or form, there's gonna be kickback.
There's judgment.
There will always be judgment because
Judgment from who though?
The woman that you're
yeah,
woman that you're dating or other people?
No. I think your partner, whoever that may be. So if it's a woman, if it's a man, like if you assume that dominant male role, of course a provider tag is going to be over your head, no matter if it's subtle or somebody goes, you're the provider. So if you cannot provide to the standard that you need to, of course there's going to be judgment and kickback.
I'll give you an example of that, what you just said. There's a New York Times article. It's called, Does a More Equal Marriage Mean Less Sex? And the article explored how the more feminine chores a husband did, the less sex a couple had. Of course, when we say feminine, I'm using quotes very specifically because vacuuming isn't women's work, but it's often stereotypically assigned to women. And the idea of being that a union needs a strong difference in relationship roles to generate passion for sex. In other words, when women saw their husband like vacuuming and doing the dishes, they didn't want to have sex with them as often because they found them to be less desirable.
Right.
They said that, or that's what you're pulling from those stats?
No,
That's what the stats-
no, but
studies
they
have
did
shown.
qualitative like questioning, and the women were saying that I'm actually less attracted to men.
I'm not
Oh,
married.
really? That's attractive.
At least sexually.
I've never
Like I
been
love my husband for doing the dishes, but I'm gonna go watch a movie now.
Right.
I'm not
gonna
married,
throw it
and
back
I've never been married, so I don't know if that's something that is like true. Like, I mean, and I don't know my parents' sex life on purpose.
Good.
So
Mine don't have sex.
I don't blame you.
And you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
weird, and I don't know, but I know my dad does the dishes and stuff, and I know my mom does the dishes. Like like they're not. It's never like, oh, tonight I got to do the dishes. It's like whoever sees
Right.
dishes in the sink,
Right.
we just do the dishes.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I don't know that that's true, but I can imagine why stereotypically, even in the back of your mind, that you might be like, after a while.
Like it might be different. Like if your pops was
But I
doing the
think that's
dishes.
sexy though. If
Yeah,
my
I mean-
man like helps and does the dishes.
Right.
Or he cooks.
Right.
Oh,
Or
I
he
want my baby
cooks.
to cook.
That's
I'm
right.
like, look at this food, babe. Look at you.
But
in the
also-
kitchen.
So good.
Got your apron on.
But if
Is
they
it
like,
good?
Yeah, of
He can
course.
cook.
He doesn't really. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He gifted me this crock pot the other. Or it was like a year ago, and it just collected dust in my kitchen because y'all, I don't cook. So when it
Okay.
comes to gender roles, for one, I can't do the cooking thing. And so he took it back and he started cooking. He does a really good job at it.
Right.
Wow.
But if you saw maybe, if your mom saw your father building something, it might be a little with his, his little tank top on. You know what I'm saying? Like we go back to those primitive, that primitive
Right,
thinking. Because
right.
again, a provider is somebody who can take care of
Build
the
a
house.
house.
You build a house, you can wash dishes.
Yeah.
But if I'm building a house now in my dungarees or my overalls with one strap, and I'm doing that,
And it's falling off
and
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Getting a little glisten.
Your mother might drink her, she might sip
You
her
got-
tea a little bit.
You got overalls though. You got.
I got dungarees. Everybody got dungarees.
Okay.
Sean.
Just checking.
Hey, what up, Sean?
In
How you
Charlotte,
doing?
you don't play my city like that. Don't
told
play
him-
my city like that.
I was shouting out on the show.
You must owe money or something.
So you'll shout me on the show.
If we're doing shout outs, I got to shout out everyone in DC.
But you
Please
do
don't
that
do that.
every show.
Let's shout out the people in social media. We got people coming in. Melissa Johnson on Facebook said, the man should, but these men nowadays can't lead. She said, they should, but they
He
can't.
said these men now.
These men
put
nowadays.
them all together.
Ooh, all of us.
We generalize.
Yeah, lumping
on
us
this
in.
show, huh?
T. Coleman on Facebook said, the ideal relationship is to be equally yoked and have a balance, meet each other 100%.
Yes.
Denise Trika Langford on Facebook said, I need a man who leads but honors my opinion. Sarah Cage on Facebook said, leadership should be shared. The man can lead sometimes, the women can lead sometimes. Share the spotlight.
Okay.
I like that. I like that. That's ideal. That's ideal. I mean,
agree.
for me, I would say I'm type A-ish. I do like to be led in like I don't always like to play the leadership role in my relationships. Sometimes you need a break from that. Sometimes I just want to feel like doted on and loved on and I don't want to have to lead all the time. Like, that's just me, though. I don't like to necessarily be the leader. I have a big voice, though, so my opinion will always be known. It's just,
How do you manage? You said something earlier about sort of being type A and also sort of how you navigate the world and then going back home again. For both of you, though, I mean, like, what does it mean, especially as black women, to be in a situation where you have to be strong and powerful and fight the world off outside and then come home, right? And a man sometimes might be like, well, look, y'all so powerful. I want that same thing in a relationship. And you're like, no, I've been carrying the world on my shoulders all day.
Yeah.
I want to come home and not do that.
Yes.
Like, how do you balance those expectations?
Oh, I love that.
I don't think there's ever a time where I'm like, oh, I can't be controlling today. I'm too tired. I'm just.
I can't.
Like, yeah. For me, it's like the opposite. Like, he's okay when I have to like turn off the type A part at some point in time. And for me, like, I'm okay doing that if that's what my significant other, if that's what my boyfriend needs.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I kind of like being in control. So
See, I'm a
no
Virgo,
problem.
so I'm naturally
Oh, now we're getting into birthdays.
a little controlling. A little bit. Not like to the point where it's like, if you don't do this like this, I don't have OCD, I'm not that girl. But I do think there is, like, in my mind, a place where love creates like that freedom for you to be whoever. And so for me, I really don't always want to have to care. Like when I come home, and especially if I'm with someone that I love, I should be able to drop all that work stuff, everything at the door, and just be myself. And that's how I would see it, because that's what I just saw from my parents. Like it wasn't 100% perfect all the time, but when my mom needed to be, like, she's a doctor, she's also a professor. When my mom needed to be herself, she was just chill. You know what I'm saying? My dad's a journalist. When he needed to be himself, he was just chill. So I think
And they created space for each other.
they created space for each other.
That's
and
what I think a good relationship
Yeah.
is. We took the streets of New York because a lot of people wanted to know who's leading in their relationship, and we wanted to find out who's leading in your relationship. So let's take a look and see what they said.
I think in a relationship, it's good to split it 50-50. So, I take care of some stuff, you take care of some stuff, and we're, together in it.
I'm a Gemini, so I like to have control.
I take the lead in my relationship because I'm more detailed and organized about what we're doing and sort of very structured in everything that we do.
When I am dating someone, I try to be like 50-50 split. I try. Oftentimes it's 75-25, 75 me, 25 them, but I do my absolute best for a 50-50 split.
So,
I know her.
So 50-50, I think that's ideal. But I also think that people need to understand that they can't do, like the controlling type A's, can't do everything. You're not going to be good at everything. So there has to be some stuff you put down that the other person can pick up. It's like yin and yang. You have to identify your strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
And then I think it makes for a more balanced relationship. But when there's one person doing everything and they're not good at everything, but they don't let somebody do something because they feel like that's when it becomes an issue.
Exactly. I'm the same way, and that's why I think it's about playing to your strengths.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm not a good, I'm not the most organized person in terms of like making plans ahead of time. So I'll be like, yo, let's go on vacation. And then like I'll be booking the flight like 2 days before.
Right.
And paying 10 times as much.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you're still going.
Oh, we going.
I already said we're
Gonna
going.
get there, not have a hotel.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
My favorite expression is we'll figure it out. Which, if I'm dating somebody, it drives them crazy.
Oh my God, it makes me sweat just thinking about
Right,
that.
like, we'll figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah.
So when I meet people, if I end up in a relationship with somebody, the next thing I'm going to say to them is going to be, look, I'm not good at this. I'll pay for this trip if I have to, but I'm not booking it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then I get worried that at some point it becomes like I'm treating her like a secretary, right? Like so I have to also be mindful of, like, I'm always trying to be mindful of not entering unhealthy gender dynamics in a relationship because it's so natural. Because when I grew up in my house, my dad did certain things, my mom did certain things.
Right.
And so that was just how I grew up, that men provide. And I'm not against providing, I just think we should be providing for each other in different ways.
Right.
It's hard.
That's the thing. And that's why I said you have to find the strengths and weaknesses. Like, just because I'm a man, I don't know how to build nothing. Like, I'm not handy at all.
You only know how to paint.
Do you know how to put gas in your car?
Absolutely.
Barely.
Absolutely.
You ever see Zoolander?
I pump tires. I don't get the reference. I can do all that.
Can you paint?
Yeah, I can paint.
Okay.
But like,
That's
I'm not the handiest person. So I know my weaknesses.
Right.
Like I know when I gotta call somebody.
Call me.
You know what I'm saying? Won't call you. I know when I gotta call somebody. But I know that about me. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
that guy. But I have other strengths, so I will cook. I can cook.
Well, I
man.
think it's just a matter of just
burn.
showing your significant other that you're there when they need them.
Yes.
So, like, if you're not really good at planning trips and saying, I'm not really great at planning trips. I'd like to go here. If you would help me with this, or if you want to take the lead on that, I'm here when you need me. I'm happy to, contribute what I'd like to do. I think stuff like that helps because then I'm not that good at it, but I'm here to support it.
Exactly.
If you want to do that
Yeah,
instead.
I think it's communication. It's understanding who you're dating
Right.
and who you're getting into a relationship with and letting them be them, and then you go from there.
I have a first date question for you all, but first,
Scary.
ma'am, we've let you off the hook long enough.
Yeah.
It's time for the serious part of Black Coffee.
Let's do it.
We play something called Say What Now? Say What Now? Who said that? And that's where you'll have to finish the lines to a song lyric.
Right.
We'll give you a clue, because we're nice like that. But this is high pressure.
There's a lot.
You've never been under pressure in any competitive circumstance before.
Literally
so
never.
this, no, pageants, bar exams, none of that.
Nothing
This is it.
going to be like this.
Never. So there are more instructions, but you know what?
What
I'm not
in
giving it
the
to you.
world? I'm messing up the set.
It's game time. I gotta pay for that.
Yeah, you do. You do.
So I'm gonna give you the clue. Do we need a clock for this? We don't need a clock for this.
No.
Do we have a clock for this?
No, that's fine.
I feel like we should have like suspenseful music
no
playing in the back.
This expensive music we can't really afford yet, so Jameer just hums rhythmically.
Later.
All right.
Too close to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. This is how we got sued last time. All right, here we go. The first clue is creeping.
Okay.
The lyric is, I'm getting a little tired of your broken promises. Promises.
I'm getting a little tired.
Too close to the song.
Yeah.
Get us sued.
Don't get us
You can do
sued.
like
You said
5
creep and I
seconds.
immediately thought TLC.
Right.
I cannot,
All right, you
get
gotta
the-
wash TLC out of
No,
your
but
head.
then I can't get the song out of my
I'm
head.
getting a
Can't
little
think.
tired of
Sorry.
your broken promises.
You
promises.
said it. See how I can say it.
Because I can't sing. No one will sue me for that.
That is true.
Just keep singing. Just keep
That's,
doing
that's all
it.
you get.
That's what you're
If I-
saying.
You gotta tell me
You
the
do,
next
but
line.
take us down.
I don't know the
She's
next
trying to
line.
filibuster.
Like even for songs that I like, I don't know the words to the song.
You know
I'm just
the
like,
artist.
You're the hummer.
Yeah, somebody asked because I love Beyonce. So
Right.
Formation's my favorite song, and somebody was like, "Oh my God, sing some of the lyrics," and I was like,
Information. You're
We might
right.
have to work
I
on
just
that.
never know
As a Beehive
the
member, I
words.
gotta teach you.
Thank
for
you,
Sure.
thank you.
But no, okay, so
Do you know
The line.
you know the group who sings it? Come on, girl.
No, I don't
No.
know. Mm-mm.
The next line is looking at your pages, seeing different numbers and numbers.
Call you on yourself. No. All
And-
right.
Like my whole family back at home is probably so embarrassed of me.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
they
yeah,
are.
yeah,
Sorry,
definitely.
sorry, guys.
It's no
I let
more
you down,
baby, I'ma
sorry.
do right.
By 3LW.
Shri
Yeah,
LW.
it's that one.
Is that? She wouldn't have got that one in a million years.
Nope.
All right, your next one.
1-1.
Here we go.
Your next clue is a long walk. And it's not Jill Scott, so I don't
Okay.
want to wash your
Okay.
mind of
Trying
these.
to rinse that
Yes.
out.
Rinse that.
It's hard.
And the lyric is, if I could fall into the sky, do you think time would pass me by?
Oh, that sounds like such a great song.
I could
That's a
fall into the sky. Do you think time would pass me by?
Oh, when something turns.
There it is.
A
You really are-
thousand miles.
Yeah!
I could just see you.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
Yes!
Oh my
Good
God,
job.
guys.
Yeah.
She got one!
Bring out the crown. Where's the
Bring up. Well, you not yet. not yet.
Save the pageanteers for the third one.
Right.
Oh yeah, because I'm 1-1 right now.
Yes. You're doing okay.
Okay. Stop throwing cards.
Stop.
It's sorry guys. I'm frustrated.
Okay.
Your last clue is GPS.
Oh God.
Ready.
Doo-doo.
You are being so dramatic.
Should like dim the lights and
Yes.
Bum, bum, boom, 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 boom.
And the lyric is, send me your location. Let's focus on communication. Can you finish the next line?
Send me.
Your location.
I don't know this one.
Focus on communication, because
Whoa, that's enough, that's enough.
Time
No.
that ain't to come through.
Yeah!
Like 3 words.
You are
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
You are.
radio.
It's Khalid. It's location, Khalid. And
There you go.
are. Wait, let me just huddle with the judges. Can we huddle up for a minute?
You really can't
Huddle
play
up,
any more
huddle
games.
up. Yes.
You can't play no more games.
The verdict is
Stop throwing cards.
you are the Say What Now champion of 2019.
Thank
You are the Say What champion of
Thank you.
2019.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hold the crown
Appreciate it.
above your head. You get a BET award for this.
Excuse me.
I'm
I
sorry.
would just like to thank my mother and the Academy for this
Yes.
incredible opportunity.
Yeah.
World peace and save everybody.
Yay! You act like you've done this before.
Thank you.
She's a natural. She's a natural.
Yes.
Let's get into your life as a pageant queen, as Miss
Yeah.
USA.
Yes.
So black women are what are the exact places that we're holding right now? Because I know the black girls are killing it, but I want to
Yes,
hear from you.
ma'am. So me, I'm Miss USA.
Yes.
My teen, Kaylee Garris, is Miss Teen USA, and then we have Nia Franklin, who is Miss America.
Wow.
Wow.
What does it feel
Yeah.
like to be a part of this trifecta of like black women just winning it right now?
That's incredible. And for me, I lean heavily on my faith, and so I know that I've competed in pageants before, and I lost every single one of them until I won this one. But I think that God waited for the right time for something to happen. And it's funny because me and Nia, Miss America, are really great friends. She was one of my clients when she won Miss America. And I remember after she won, I was like, God, could I win? Is this something that like God will allow to happen? 2 women from North Carolina, 2 black women at the same time, 2 women who know each other. And it happened. So I just think there's a time and a place for everything.
I love that. That really takes away from the narrative that there's only room for one.
Exactly.
What do you say to women who believe that, people who believe that only one person, especially black girls, can only be at the top at the same time?
I think this demonstrates that doesn't have to be a rule for us, that there can be more than one. In fact, there can be 3 of us.
Whoa.
That was good.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people worry about that. One of my favorite books is Pretty Powerful by
Yes.
Ebony Williams, and she writes in there about women's fear of the scarcity of successful black women, especially in rooms, in successful rooms and executive positions, because you just never know if there's just going to be a token one. And so you end up feeling like you need to compete against each other rather than lift each other up together. But I think our collective wins demonstrates it doesn't have to be that way, that we can support each other and we can all win all at the same time.
A word.
How do you express your blackness in predominantly white spaces without being a stereotype, the stereotypical black girl?
Like a pageant, for example.
Yeah, like a pageant,
Yeah.
for example. But how are you able to effectively express who you are in a space like that and still be so successful?
I think it's about figuring out what you are and what's most important to you and expressing that most authentically. So for me, it was my hair. When I won, my hair was giant. I mean, it was as big and combed out and brushed out as it has ever been. And I think for some people, that makes them uncomfortable.
Right.
And that there aren't that many women who wear their natural hair in a pageant, especially a large national pageant like Miss USA. But for me, that was who I am. It is who I am, and I can't change that. And so rather than conforming and feeling I needed to burn my hair out of my head like I've done all my life, I was just like, well, it's curly, so
You
gonna
gonna
get
get
it?
these girls.
You gonna get this shirt, right,
You
right.
gonna get these girls.
Yeah.
And you look beautiful. Your hair is
Thank
beautiful
you.
no matter where you put it, the bun or not. But thank you for doing that, because I think every little black girl who has big, curly, beautiful, natural hair
Absolutely.
was able to see you. And even if we all, our shades different, but even if we are, it's just to have you there means so much. So we're so proud of you.
Thank you.
And you're beautiful.
Now,
Thank you.
And we're gonna have a refill show coming up in a little bit, and I want to hear more about what Miss USA does and how you journey throughout your this year.
Yeah.
But before you go, I've been told that you have a position on something. For those out there in Black Coffee Land, we have something called I Said What I Said,
Oh boy.
where people take controversial positions on the world's most important matters. Last week, I took a very controversial position that the international community is still buzzing about regarding family matters.
Oh my goodness gracious.
The worst show in the history of shows.
It's not the worst,
It's not
but
the
I
worst,
do
but sure,
agree
let's
it
go.
was pretty bad.
But now, you are the first
Guest.
guest
Yes.
to do an I Said What I Said.
Oh, really? Oh, my
You ain't never
gosh.
scared.
Thank you.
You ain't never scared.
Breaking all the boundaries.
All the boundaries. So I'm going to cue up
Ready?
this clock.
Okay.
You're going to have 60 seconds there. Bong.
You can look at that camera.
It didn't happen.
Oh,
Bong.
this
This
camera.
camera. Got it.
Okay, I thought I'd have a dramatic bong, but it
Go,
didn't
go,
go.
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 Oh, I'm ready?
Yep.
Okay, great. So my position is Scandal is the best television show of all time.
Oh, God.
my God.
Exactly. And now, Olivia, I'm going to talk directly to you, not to Kerry Washington, because Kerry Washington, you're too strong in Olivia. I cannot separate the two. You are Olivia Pope. So, Olivia, I have to tell you how important it is for Black women, Black lawyers especially, to see a competent, intelligent, successful, and beautiful woman leading other people as an attorney. Everybody in my law school, we would all refer to ourselves as Olivia Popes. We had a club for it. And it's really important for us to have that representation, especially in a society where only 5% of lawyers are Black. Hello. Beyond that, Scandal was really important in that it helped us to hear messages like, you have to be twice as good to get half as far. People need to know that, and they need to hear it so that we can fight it. Now, aside from that, I get that things went kind of off the road, especially when Olivia got randomly kidnapped and went to a private island, and we weren't sure if she liked Jake. Can I still go? Can I go? Thank you.
We're gonna give you your extra time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're in overtime. We didn't know if she liked Jake or Fitz or that random Black guy who liked her but also wanted to kill her. But what was really important is
that
that
happens.
Yeah.
we all knew that it was handled, and that there were people who were Black people and white people, men and women, being led by a strong Black woman in our nation's capital. So, Scandal, come back. We miss you.
Wow.
First of all,
That was
Thank
that was
you.
compelling.
Thank
That
you
was
so
very good.
much.
That was compelling.
That was very
Thank
good.
you.
And I don't think I've ever heard a more persuasive
right.
and compelling argument
Oh, you're kind.
that is at once so darn wrong.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to agree with Mark on this.
Were you
Fight me.
in law school? Did you, I'm scared. She done wanted everything else. I don't want no
You think I'm
problems.
wrong? Let's hear it then.
I don't want no smoke, man. So I love Scandal. And I love Kerry Washington. I watched every episode from the first to the last.
Really?
One. Every
All
single
of
one.
them?
Yeah,
Every
same,
single one.
same.
I have favorite moments.
Oh, really?
Favorite,
Yeah.
absolute
Like
favorite
what?
moments.
Name 3.
One of my favorite moments, my absolute favorite moment is this moment where Fitz finds out that Olivia double-crossed him, and she's telling him what happened.
And the music's playing in the
and
back
it's
of your
Roberta
ear?
Flack's "Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?"
Yes! Oh my God, that's one of my
And you can't hear what he's saying, but
yes.
and he's breaking. Oh my God!
And she's like crying, and she's like, and then he's about to leave,
Yeah.
and she gets up, and she's like, wait, yeah. I know.
No. See what she did? She did that lawyer thing.
What?
She's bringing me to her side. No. I like the moments, but you're not going to lure me
Yeah,
in.
you're,
Well, tell
you're
me why you
not.
don't
You're
like
not
the show
helping.
then.
Because there are
Make
better.
your case.
Because there are simply better shows.
Yes.
Like what?
The Wire.
Like,
The Wire.
Greatest show ever.
absolutely.
Breaking
Absolutely.
Bad.
I didn't watch Breaking Bad, but The Wire, I'm with you.
I mean, Breaking Bad. There are-
what makes a show better than another?
There's no super jumping the shark moment where she's tied up by an unnamed
did
foreign
go
group
far.
and then
It
breaks
went
into a
far.
foreign language that we've never known she knew.
Right.
And-
That was kind of
has to
she was
break
like, do
out.
you know Parsi? And he was like, no. She's like, well, let me just.
Right, and she lapsed into Farsi, right, which apparently she learned in Georgetown. I don't know.
But see but that's the issue, that we can't believe that a Black woman randomly knows Farsi. And I think that her being
Wow.
there, I think
Yo,
that her
she's
being there
watching you right
demonstrated the
You get
importance.
It's like a Mayweather fight.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Right.
if I ever get legal trouble, I'm coming to you.
Thank
She
you.
can argue anything.
Yo,
Well, we're gonna let you argue more in the refill. So.
wow, you got trash.
I did not get trash. This is the second day in a row people said I got trash. You could have helped. You're that friend that watch you get beat up and be like, damn.
I thought
He
you had
said he's
it.
sitting too close to me.
That's what it is. You don't want to smoke
catch them
either.
hands. Yeah, I didn't
It's
want to
fine.
do that.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine here. Nothing happened. I'm fine.
You got beat up.
It was even. It was a tie.
No,
It was a tie. That's what you say when you get beat up in a fight. It was a tie.
It was a tie.
Any Black man that say it was a tie got his ass whipped. Thank you for watching. She was amazing. Black Coffee was amazing. I got 3 reminders for y'all though. First, remember to subscribe to this show. If you enjoyed what you saw today, make sure you go to YouTube channel and go to BET Black Coffee. Second, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, even though you probably already are. But if you're not, we won't judge you. Just go do it now. And third, meet us right now on Twitter for after show. It's called Black Coffee to Refill. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to argue this out, though.
Yeah.
Seriously. Goodbye. Go.
You already lied.
You lost.
I did not lose. I did not.